The following Earth Angel Media presentation is brought to you commercial-free as a gratuity from the sponsor-producer named after the show. Please consider their message. Find other high-value shows listed at earthangelproject.com. Enjoy the show.
Do you ever wonder how you got here, in this strange, beautiful Earth space? Do you sometimes feel the pull of something older, deeper, something your mind doesn't remember, but your soul recognizes instantly? Is this Earth journey one you freely chose? And what if your experiences here aren't accidents, but intentional messages, secrets to your freedom, waiting to be decoded? We may not find all the answers, but let's enjoy the journey together, knocking on doors and asking meaningful questions. Soul Decodes will help you think clearly, feel deeply, and live intentionally. Welcome to Soul Decodes with Dr. Tia Jolie Phillips.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Dr. Tia Jolie Phillips. You're listening to episode 72 of Soul Decodes. Yay. I've got a couple guests in the house, but before I get to that, before I introduce them, I want to actually talk to you about what's going on, because I've not been on the air for about 3 or 4 months. For those of you catching up, Sarah Thierry is doing great. She's had some family things going on in Europe, so she's back and forth. But she's writing some more books. She's got a lot of books going out right now, so she's really in her zone. Just so happy for her. So send her some white light. She's really in her zone. It's really good to see. I'm going to introduce you to Pano and Elida in a moment here. It's going to be really exciting. I normally sleep really well, but I was like a kid before Christmas last night. I was like just really excited to have you in the studio today. So, but before I go, I want to do a couple of housekeeping things. I've done a lot of stuff in the past 4 months. This is just a couple things that are relevant to you, my listeners. First of all, thanks for hanging in there. So even though we've not broadcast in the past 4 months, our numbers are up. So what that means is that all y'all are taking some time, you're listening to some of the older episodes, and you're sharing with your friends and family. So, we're grateful to you for that. I want to share with you that every Monday night I got a friend of mine challenged me about really a few months ago and said, why don't you do a podcast specifically for health and wellness? Because that's your thing, health and wellness. And I said, yeah, like I don't have something else to do, right? So he says, yeah, we're doing a group thing. It's nationwide, it's worldwide, called Whole Health Community. So I said, okay. So I bought a domain, of course, because I don't have enough domains. And it's called wholehealthworldwide.com. So I'd encourage all y'all to go to wholehealthworldwide.com. Every week, there's a 30-minute mini-series on a topic. And what it does is, like this week coming up, it's like healthy heart. And then after that, it's immune system. But it's 30 minutes of intense discussion about what you can do, practically speaking, that don't involve, scalpels or radiation or medication, things like that. So those are free. They're 30 minutes. Everything we do there revolves around life, health, wealth, and legacy. Because everything we do in our life here and part of our soul journey is about life, health, wealth, and legacy. So the idea being life is what we do, who we are, why we're here, what are we here to learn, right? Health is to what degree we live life, right? I mean, how are we powerful? Do we have vitality? Wealth is the style. That's, what can I do? What cool things can I do while I'm here? And then legacy is looking backwards and saying, did I kick butt? Did I do what I was supposed to do? And did I become the person I was supposed to become? So every week we're going to touch that just for 30 minutes. So we touch health, and then the next 30 minutes I talk about the other things, life, wealth, and legacy. So everything's free. Just tune into wholehealthworldwide.com. I've also got attached there a thing called Targeted Needs. It's brand new. So Targeted Needs is work in progress, I'll just tell you. But there's really cool things on there. Eventually, I'm going to have an AI, basically an AI assistant that helps you with health issues from a holistic doctor perspective. So that'll be up. I'll let you know when that's up and going. I also published my first book. It's a beauty compendium. Ooh. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but because you said something downstairs, Elida, you nailed it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. But it's, I published a beauty compendium. It's $25 on Amazon, but for those of you listening, stay to the end. I'm going to tell you how to get it for free, the electronic version for free, just because you're listening today. I also set up a website that I want to share with everyone. It's called emergingmarketalerts.com. Some of you know I opened up business in Puerto Rico less than a year ago. Holistic natural health portals out there. Looks like I got invited to open up in the UK, Portugal, and Poland. I don't have a time frame on it yet. But super excited about it. And if you go to emergingmarketalerts.com, you can just opt in and get notifications for what's going on and what that might mean to people in those areas. So I've got other things we can talk about later, but I don't want to spend any more time about my stuff because I got some super cool people. I met Pano for the first time just a few minutes ago. But Pano, I couldn't believe it, but your LinkedIn profile like resonated. It was like there was like a resonant chamber. I just like you could just tell by looking that you're the real deal. And then I don't know anything about Elida other than what you sent me yesterday or 2 days ago with the biography. So what I want to do is just I'm going to let the world meet you, but also I'm going to meet you because I really need to know more about you and your background. Wonderful. But I already love your energy. You love the idea of doing shots at Phillips Island.
That's right.
But this is super cool, and I just want to say hello. Who wants to go first? Pano wants to go.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, hello everybody. I'm Pano Dimitratos, and my story is as such. I was born and raised in New York of Greek descent, and I was working originally for 25 years or so in the family construction business, and it was great. You know, I made good money, was in a lot of like beautiful locations. We mainly were restoring Victorian homes and also building new construction as well, and did really well. But I knew that it wasn't my calling. And so years would go by and, I wouldn't know what to do. But eventually I got to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm going to start, helping myself. And so I started reading self-help books and, doing some things. And I came across one of the things that I saw was that psychedelics would be of help to me because I thought that, I read that, they help with trauma and they help with making new neural pathways and such and helping with kind of getting over humps. That's what I learned about them. So I had come across them through some friends and tried them. And I really liked what happened with myself. I did a lot of introspection through them and kind of almost like called myself out on a lot of my own stuff, like things that I needed to call myself out on. And I learned that, okay, you know what, in order to change my life and get into the thing that I wanted to do, I have to take actions, right? So being that I saw how psychedelics were helpful to me, I searched and I found that there was a conference in Miami, Florida, was Cannadelic Conference. And it was a conference based around cannabis and psychedelics and the business aspect of it and how it can help people. And so I went to that, and that's actually where me and Elida met.
Did either of you happen to listen to some of my previous podcasts?
I didn't know. I'm
okay,
sorry.
because we actually have had people in the studio talk about some of these things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
they're wonderful.
This is a great continuation
Yes,
of that. So So please continue.
So when I saw that they were so helpful to me, I would come out of these trips and I would think, I really want to help bring this to society, because I knew it was illegal and it's starting to kind of gain traction, with the legalization throughout the country. And even the president, signing a recent bill to accelerate the
research behind
research. Yes, the research behind it. That was just, I think, last week it just happened.
Huge news.
I totally know. I track this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, there's some of us follow these back channels. I mean, this is information that's not mainstream. These are boards of information, drops of information that are coming from a lot of times anonymous sources that are showing the way forward. And in one of the most popular drops, sequence of drops that started actually at the end of 2017, it was late October 2017, there was these series of intelligence drops, and many of us were very fascinated with it. The last word on the last drop, and there were thousands of drops, was called ascension. So these are all very cryptic, and we don't know exactly who wrote these things, but there's a lot of it that's coming to pass.
Yes, I just got
it's a lot of it's coming to pass. So this whole idea of your soul's journey.
Yes.
It's like, what if we've been locked up, and what if us being locked up involved some sort of a disconnection in our brain, a neurological disconnection? What if what these fungus compounds do, these fungal compounds, what if what they do is repair us? Because we're symbiotic with you guys know this.
Yes.
We're symbiotic with molds, fungus, bacteria. I mean, this is part of what we are. We're playing host. We're playing host to an entire ecosystem. So
absolutely.
I love what you're talking about. So I'd like you to double back and listen to a couple of the episodes we've had.
Absolutely.
We've got some really cool people here. We even had a refugee from Cuba, and I interviewed both of his son, his kids, a son and a daughter, both of whom had positive benefits from psychotropics. So please continue.
Yeah,
well, before we continue, can you? This beautiful girl is sitting here, and just go ahead and introduce her real briefly, because you said you met each other in Miami.
Yes, at a Canadelic conference.
So introduce her and tell us how did that happen, maybe.
Yeah. Would you like to say that?
Hi, I'm Elida Calero, and I met this wonderful human at the Canadelic conference in Miami. And I guess we were both really searching at that point. For me, it was on a business front. I was looking into the whole cannabis line and how to bring this forward, which led me into industrial hemp. Amazing.
I can't believe you're here.
But that's another sidebar.
I can't believe you're here because
synergies.
I literally talk about this all the time.
No.
Like, we need to grow industrial hemp. And not even just a little bit.
No, a lot, because just the fact that it grows,
a lot.
it's natural sequestration of CO2 just because it grows, even if you do nothing with this amazing, plant, which is so versatile. So we can have a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, no, we're gonna.
That's like a whole
girlfriend, we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
But I actually, it was only a 2-day conference. It was the first one that they were holding for this. And basically cannabis, excuse the pun, blazing the trail, right, for the psychedelic world, on that legal path and how, to create it. And so it was very smart of them to combine these two networks together. And so I walk into the conference the first day, and I'm very methodical in how I do things. I go from the right, to the left, up and down the aisles. And that's how I learn whatever industry that I'm I need to. Conferences are a wonderful way, to do that. Really, you want to see what a market is about. You see who's attending, who's exhibiting, who's speaking. And so it's just a really great way to immerse yourself quickly if you're interested in learning about a new industry or niche sector. And something just kind of pulled me. I looked over to the left, and far on the other end of the hall, he's not difficult to spot at 6'6".
I bet I bet he sucks at hide and seek. It's like,
and so I just okay, that exists. But I was there to do business. I do not mix business and pleasure. I do,
That's so sad. You really should.
Well, that all went south after meeting him. That rule went out the window.
It's like the business of pleasure. It's like, that's a thing,
I'm all about, focus. So I usually attend these things by myself. I've done this for years. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to go here. And it wasn't that big of a hall because it's a first show. So I figured maybe we'd see each other in the middle, but left it out of my head. And somehow I made it to the end of the show, and we didn't see each other. I didn't see him. He didn't notice me. Again, we were across the hall. And then there was an after networking event where Bob Marley's son was playing, gigging in Miami. And so that happened. And then somewhere in the middle of the night of the program, again, I saw him again, but at a distance. So it's like, oh, there he is again. I'm like, if I see him again, I'm going to have to say hello, because I'm a firm believer when the universe shows you something,
put something in your path,
and repetition.
Right?
It's need a...
For real, I have thousands of people on my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But something just pointed me.
Yeah.
When I looked at his profile, I was like, wait a minute.
Who is this?
Who is this Pano guy? What is he? And when I read his profile, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a brother I didn't know I had.
Yes.
So, okay, continue. That's cool.
So I made a mental note. Rest of the night happened. Again, didn't see him again. So now it's at the end of the night. And again, out of sight, out of mind, right? It was just 2 quick little mental notes. And sure enough, the band is done. It's only midnight in Miami. Things are just getting started. So everybody's talking about where to go next. I'm introducing people as I do. I'm a natural born facilitator. So I'm introducing. And as I'm introducing 2 people, I catch him in my peripheral. And he's just sitting now like a stone's throw away by himself. So my body immediately starts going in that direction, and I'm in the middle of an introduction. So very unprofessional. I'm like, oh, well, talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, exactly. And as I'm walking over to him, I'm like, what am I going to say to him? I don't know,
And at this point, I was just sitting down, literally tying my shoe, and it was
still
end of
doesn't
the
know
night.
I exist.
No. I was just ready to go back to my room and say, okay, good night, ready for day 2 tomorrow, that.
And so here I am standing right in front of him. He's sitting down. I'm like, can I say hi?
Yeah, she comes up and she
just
says,
like the biggest
hi,
dork.
can I say hi? And I said,
Did you feel like you're in 5th grade?
And I was like, please do.
I'm like a 48-year-old woman. I've been married. I've had I'm not a shy person, obviously, right? And here I'm like, what do I say? And then he's like, yeah, please do, and stands up. And I'm like, oh, okay, can we sit down? And we've just been stuck at the hip ever since.
Yes.
That's so cool. So how long ago was that, you said?
This is 4 years now.
4 plus, February of 22.
So are you 2 like partners? You married or what? I mean, what's good?
Yeah.
Well, we're together for sure.
Together,
Not married officially yet, but that's definitely in the...
I'm excited.
Our hearts and
when
souls
that
are already
happens, I want to
married.
be there.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. It's an official invitation.
Hopefully I'll have a band put together with.
Oh my God.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
It might be in Greece though, so you might have to journey out to Greece.
Listen, I don't mind. I've been to Greece before.
Yeah.
Actually, just I'm half Macedonian.
Oh,
wow.
perfect.
My roots are all from the Mediterranean.
See, you'll be coming
no
home.
kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't speak Greek, but
Yeah.
but I eat the food.
Yeah.
And hey, you don't have to wait till we actually get married. We're there every June and January for him for his schooling. So we're there about 4 or 5 months out of the year. So you're more than welcome, whether it's winter or summer.
Yeah, we're there
Thank
pretty
you.
often.
Yeah.
Thanks for the backdrop. Once I get my airplane, you don't have to stand in TSA.
And there
We'll
you
just
go.
fly there, so.
Oh, he's pilot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
We'll talk.
I'm looking to go for it. So,
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. I'm a former Air Force pilot, and
Wow.
yeah, I flew special ops in the military. Flew the president's limousine, Secret Service people.
Wow.
Airdropped 50 countries, dropped troops and
We have a
equipment.
badass in the house.
just fun. But now it's to the point where it's like I want to fly for me.
Yes.
I flew for the world. I flew for now it's my turn. Yeah. Take it up. Now it's my turn. So if I would love. I'm to the place now where I'm like, what's next? Let's go ahead and get like a couple airplanes, one for the long haul, one to get to the Keys and back for lunch.
That's right.
Stuff
Wonderful.
like that.
Yeah, I'm looking. I actually looked into flight school in Greece. This is something that's been in my heart for a very long time. Probably since my 20s, I've been wanting to do this. So it's in my stars.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go ahead. So that's how you met. That's how you're here. You found me through LinkedIn.
Yep.
We had a brief conversation. So you've gone from construction.
Yep.
So you've transitioned to this holistic world.
Yeah.
You had personal benefit from it. What's next?
Yeah.
Like
so
where do you go from here? What have you done with it? Yeah.
Yeah. So with meeting Elida, she helped me to really come up with a plan to be able to facilitate my exiting of the construction industry and going into what I felt was, what I enjoyed was helping people, whether it be physically, whether it be through motivation, whatever it may be. And she helped me come up with almost like a roadmap, for how to go about that, because I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to go about it, and I wasn't really sure how to put it together. And she's wonderful at that, and she helped me figure out, okay, so let's go into holistic medicine. I knew that I liked natural health, and I said, okay, traditional Chinese medicine. She brought up first, actually, the Reiki. Okay, so originally the Reiki. So the Reiki, I didn't even know about it at this point, but you had, what was it, a stomach issue?
No, my knee.
Oh, your knee.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I dislocated my knee when I was 18 years old, right around 17, 18 years old. And I grew very quickly one summer from elementary school to junior high school, and my knees just never really recovered from that. And so, 100 years later, you have these compounding issues of also being an adrenaline junkie and being on it. And my knee just blew up from some average hiking, and he was massaging it, and he was not trained or anything like that, and literally opened it up, and I felt the swelling and the fluid pockets just burst. And I looked up at him like, "You're a healer." It just, quickly hit me. And I know he always wanted to do the retreats, the psychedelic retreats to help others. And I was like, okay, we got to get you on this path. And I guess I've been kind of gifted with some foresight of when I meet someone, their spirit really does speak to me, and when something like that, being so closely connected to this, this man in particular too, is really powerful. But I will see things, right? And not very clearly, but like I'll see like a far off into the future of this, how they're feeling. It's more of a feel that I see. It sounds strange, but it's like, best way.
the way when I hear you speaking like this, you're actually speaking like the first century Christians, the mystics. Because when you read about the Essenes, do you know who the Essenes were? Yeah, so the Essenes, they were very peaceful. But they also had this vision for the future. They were very clean. They were attached to the earth. They dressed with white robes. They were very clean. They wore linens. They were barefoot or sandals. They were just very clean, very peaceful. None of the surrounding tribes ever fought with them. They were just present. And the Essenes, they have I can give you a copy of it. It's called the Gospel of Peace.
Oh, wonderful!
But a lot of what they cover there has to do with when you're in this flow, you're in this state of peace. Everything will open up to you, and it's all there for you.
Yes.
And so what you're saying is not strange at all. It's actually very raw and very beautiful. So.
And, it's something that I've really come to understand more so through my relationship with him, because he, prior to us getting together, was really doing a lot of reading on ancient civilizations and spirituality and all of these different areas. And it's a lot of what would happen to me I really didn't quite understand, and I would hold things off to coincidence or chance. And so when I saw what I saw and felt for him was him in his full essence as a healer, right?
That's beautiful.
And I saw this path, and when I see that, I see the end. I don't quite see the details.
You don't have to.
Of that. No,
that's
right?
not how
that's
it works.
Never, but I saw him there, and I saw him just so full, of light and just joy, because he was in his element. He was in his purpose.
I like it.
And I was just like, oh, you're a healer.
So take it from there. Thanks for that setup, because that was a really good setup. And so you've gone through this experience personally, and now you're advancing it so you can help others.
Yeah.
Now you have a company called PD Holistics. Where are you on that? What is that?
Well, right now, I opened the company, and as far as I'm still I'm a student, and I have my certifications as far as a stretch coach, online health coach, a personal training through NASM, and.
So for the listeners, just go ahead. When you use an abbreviation, just tell us what that means. NASM, what does that mean?
National Association of Sports Medicine, I believe it is. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so I obtained these certifications, and I started the schooling, and I do work when it comes to me, which is not often. Right now, I'm strictly a student, but I'll help family and friends out as far as with Reiki. I'll give acupuncture treatments to my family. Obviously, I can't make money on anything yet here. Legally.
So it's all
more
practice.
So kind of practice and helping, through the things that I know and the things that I've learned. And
which he's brought some needles here for you today too, if you're interested in getting an acupuncture treatment after
Actually,
that.
we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to interject a
sure.
couple quick things. First of all, I teach entrepreneurs. I don't think you've looked at my background or what I've done. I've got so many projects, but one of the things I do is I teach entrepreneurs. It's my opinion that all of us are creators.
Yes.
Everyone's a creator, and we're all different types of creators. And because we're different types of creators, if we can learn to get along together, see, I don't have to create what you create because you're going to be really good at that. And you don't have to create what I create because I'm good at what I create. And you create things too. We all create things, and we bring forth abundance from our creative skills. And the idea is to share from our abundance. We share with each other, and we trade value for value.
Yes.
So the future is we're going to return back to this concept of value for value. So when I teach my entrepreneurs, because I'll have 30 people in my living room, we'll have 20, 30 people, and I'll be coaching them up. One of the central concepts is, basically life, health, wealth, legacy. But who are you and why are you here? What is your core calling? What brought you joy when you were a child? What is that? What are those things that you've always wanted to do and you didn't do them yet?
Right.
And what's keeping you from doing that? Right? Those are all really important questions. Big questions. But when you break it up, there's 3 circles. One circle is, what do you love to do? What brings you joy? The second one is, what are you good at? Or what can you get good at?
Yeah.
What are you good at? Or what can you get good at? And then what can you get paid for? Right?
Right, by combining those.
But ideally, you find one thing that has all 3, but sometimes you don't. But like starving artists, they're starving because they haven't figured out the 3rd circle.
Right.
So now, in my case, I play bass guitar for, I've been in multiple bands, but I love playing bass. Initially, I sucked at it. I was really bad, but I won't say really bad, but it was very difficult for me to get to the level that I felt I was good. And I'm still not there. I still think I suck, but everyone's like, no, you're great. I'm like, no. But the thing is, you can learn. And I didn't even pick up bass till I was 45. So
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, see.
So now there's what I like to do. There's what I can do, but how do you get paid doing it?
Right.
How do you get paid? Now there's all this electronic music. Oh, bass, that's easy. Push this button. There's your bass, right? So how do you get paid? Now, what I'm going to do is segue over to what you're saying is, sometimes that third circle has to be something separate. So like in my case, I work for free. I haven't taken money since 2019 from people. So I used to take $150 an hour, but I'm just sharing, what do you love to do? I love to help people. Are you good at it? Yeah, I'm really good. Can you get paid? Yeah, except for when the scamdemic hit.
Yeah.
The scamdemic hits and everyone's like spazzing out and they're scared. And my heart says, I can't take money from these people. They're afraid. They need help. They need guidance. So I stopped taking money and I never took any since then.
Wow.
So I've not taken any money from people since 2019.
Wow.
And the reason is because you can find other ways to make the money. It doesn't have to be what you love doing. They can be separate circles. As long as you have another way to make that cash flow, then you can be free to do whatever you want.
Exactly.
So
amen.
They don't have
Amen. Yes.
so they don't have to be the same thing. They can be separate things.
Yeah.
That's why when I go to the Chamber of Commerce, and I don't want to take too much away, but this is really relevant.
It's absolutely.
It took me 3 or 4 or 5 months to join the chamber because everyone's like, you need to join. I'm like, I don't need anything from y'all. I mean, I just want to come here and help and be friends. And my closest neighbor's a horse. I mean, I need social, So they're like,
and a long-legged cow.
and there's a that's a Pano cow.
Look at the legs on that.
So my point is that you can there's ways you can actually create residual incomes from multiple sources just by identifying a value deficiency, in other words, a need. Where's there a need, and shoring up that need, and in many cases that could be a residual, and you just keep layering in those residuals. That frees you up to do the things you love to do.
Exactly.
So, and a friend of mine 35 years ago said, Lee, you want to retire as early as possible and as many times as possible. So you want to layer in those residuals. And that was 35 years ago. I'm still doing it.
Nice. Yeah.
So you want to just always layer in residuals. So I'm just saying, like, don't worry about the money. Follow your passion, because money follows good ideas.
Yes, I believe this.
And
And
so,
good people. Yeah.
and we'll talk about the industrial hemp. We'll talk about all this stuff.
Yeah.
So pick it up from there. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No,
I think it's
please.
so.
Not at all.
I
It's so relevant.
love when people follow their passions.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps us young.
Like that's one of the things that I was thinking of years ago, even when because I'm divorced also, and while like I was going through the divorce, a divorce happened back like in 2016, 17. Originally, at that point, I was like, all right, I knew I needed to do something, and at that point, I was looking at learning to be a motivational speaker, or like looking into the whole thing, because I was really, I loved what I was getting from motivational speakers, so I wanted to give this back, and it was something that I really looked into and gained a lot of knowledge through the self-help books of all the motivational speakers, that I read about, but I never really followed it further after that. I kind of like put that on the back burner, but even that was something that I looked into myself at one point. And I mean, still, who's to say like I still can't, move in that direction moving forward at some point.
I'll set you up.
It's all part.
I'll set you up.
That's all part of that long-term vision plan. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
And it's already. Yeah.
I want to change the idea. Everyone says motivational speaker, but I want to call it an inspirational speaker.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I'm the only one that can motivate me. You can inspire me.
Yeah.
Like
But
I'm
it has to
inspired by
come
both
from
of y'all
inside.
already. I'm inspired, but the motivation is from me
Yes.
waking up and going, "Thank you. I got another day, another crack at this." It used to be like I've got all these gardens out here that get destroyed by the frost and the hurricane comes and all this, thousands of dollars, and I'm like, "Hey, I still have the property. I still have myself. I get to go out there and try it again."
Yeah.
I go out there. I look at the grass growing into my gardens. I'm like, oh, cool. I get to, this is my chance to pull some weeds, pull some grass. I don't have to do it. I get to do it.
You get to do it.
I get to pull weeds. It's such a different animal when you're just.
But if you think of the power of the grounding of having your hands in earth.
Oh, it's immediate.
It's immediate.
Yeah.
So this is the pleasure, I grew up in a concrete jungle, in, Brooklyn and the Bronx, Manhattan. I was
Well, I used to, when I was a brand new pilot for JetBlue, I was a first officer in Kennedy, up in New York.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
I used to live in. I had a crash pad, we called it. You share an apartment with like 10 other crew members.
Yeah, because you're probably
Because
bouncing.
you can't afford
it.
you rotate bunks. But I was there for in Kew Gardens.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, in Queens.
Yeah, in Queens. Yeah. So, but it was good. So, I basically joined the chamber for social, but being able to go there and just experience other people. That's why I wanted to have y'all here, because I love when you can look at all of the infinite creation around you. If you have a choice of how to engage this infinite creation, people are the coolest.
Yeah.
There's some idiots, but they just don't know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just don't know who they are.
There's a lot more amazing, big-hearted people out there than there are the dark and ugly. I think that the darker energies out there just get more spoken about or seen. But when you really go out into the world, it is amazing how many beautiful people there are that are just willing to give to a perfect stranger.
Yeah, I liken it to these. If we took like across the earth, just go and just pick out 10 random toddlers, maybe 2, 3, 4 years old, set them in a room and let them play. They're going to figure it out.
They're going to have a great time.
They don't have to, and they don't have to speak the language. They're not speaking like yes, exactly.
Even if they don't understand each other, they're going to party.
Absolutely.
They're going to share.
We could learn so much from kids.
Kids and animals.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kids and animals.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That is
So what would be at the next level for you? Where do you want to go? You've opened up some doors here. You've got some. And I also want to hear about your environmental technology agency.
Yes.
I want to hear that.
Very exciting.
So just to basically finish off with my where I am and what I'm doing, so then eventually we found, okay, we both knew we wanted to travel and she was telling me from originally, she's like, I'm a moving target. And I said, you know what? I like that idea. I'm all for it. Let's go. I don't need to be stuck here, stuck there. I could go wherever and I'm all for it. As long as I'm with you, and I knew that I was head over heels.
Okay, y'all need an airplane. You know that.
Yeah. Yes, and that's what she said too. She said, I've got
the airplane I'll show you how to make as much money as you want.
There you go.
We'll split an airplane.
There you go. Yes, no, done.
And you don't have to pay for the pilot. I'll do it for free.
Done. No.
So she's like, you're Greek, right? And, we both, she had been to Greece before. I've been to Greece multiple times throughout with my family and whatnot. And, I speak the language, read it, write it. And so she's like, okay. We looked into, schools for acupuncture because that was a holistic way and natural way, and it was something that's covered by insurances. So she was like, okay, it's a good way to kind of get into what's kind of
Eastern and Western medicine.
I love it. It's a beautiful
bridge.
It's a beautiful bridge. In fact, I'll share with you the VA. I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
The VA has what's called a community health group or something like that, where they'll actually fund a veteran to go get acupuncture.
Oh wow!
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know who told me about that? Peter's wife.
Yes.
She told me about that just recently.
Yeah. So it's a really good deal. I mean, it was been a few years ago, but I'll tell you about my stuff later. But the acupuncture thing, I do see it as a really good point between East and West. It's a really good touch point. But you know what? Let's be candid. Most people are afraid of the needles. They're afraid of what it means. But so in layman's terms, don't talk to me because we already know. But for a brand new person just listening to the radio, to the show, what is acupuncture? How does it work? Okay. Just the basics.
Sure.
Just the basics, okay?
Okay, so acupuncture is a way to get in touch with the universal energy of the body and how the body connects to the outside and to the inside as well. And it's a way to, through needles, which are very thin needles, almost hair thin, and when they first go in, you might feel a little pinch, but they're painless after that, right? And they help to throughout our bodies, we have meridians and points, and when you put a acupuncture needle into a point, we go to try to balance the yin and the yang aspect of our bodies. And so with these needles, we can either bring energy to a point that might be low, and these points on the body then connect to the meridians, which connect to our organs. And it's kind of like our arms and our legs, in a way, are like extensions of our internal organs as we develop in the womb, right? And so that's why the organ channels are on our arms and on our legs. And that's why a point down on near my knee can affect my digestion, because it's part of the stomach channel, for instance, right? And there's 12 channels in the body, which correspond to 12 organs internally. And so it's a way to either bring energy to a point and to the organ and to the whole system, or to, if there's stuck energy and which causes pain, it's a way to disperse it and help the energy flow through the point. And so it's a way to just bring balance overall to the entire human system.
So I do a seminar, it's called Gut Babies, but I specifically talk about the gastrointestinal microflora and the importance of treating your gut lining as if it's the soil of the earth. So I draw the parallels between the layers of the stomach or the gut lining and the layers of the earth. Everyone's got a different functional layer. What we're seeing now is more and more people learning about electroculture, right? Where they take a copper coil, either copper rod, copper coil, and depending on how you invert it and where you put it by the plant, you can actually use the etheric energy and bring it into the soil to bring energy to the soil in ways that the soil is otherwise depleted. So from my world, because what you do and what I do are very complementary. So like even if somebody's depleted, if they don't have the electrolytes, if their neurological activity is diminished, if they don't have the proper electrical charge across the synapses or across the boundary of the cell, like the cellular, the wall of the cell, if they don't have the correct charge, the work that acupuncture is diminished. Like, so you're not going to have the impact. So in my world, if I take care of the electrolytes and take care of they have enough oxygen, enough electrons, enough the gut babies producing the right chemicals, then you go in and what you're doing is you're actually bringing that balance. You're taking the balance, like I might level off the ecosystem, but then you're fine tuning that balance, which I think is beautiful. Because I've had some people that are so sick and so out of balance that the acupuncture, they don't have the effect.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. That just means their ecosystem is not even in a place where they can receive that therapy. Because we're talking about like microvolts. Because that's what happens when you have the needle. When you have the needle sticking out, it's like a radio antenna.
Basically.
Right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you have these antennas that are actually sequestering energy from the ether.
Yes.
And they're like in the microvolts that are introducing it. So
Right.
I think it's fascinating.
And that combination with Reiki,
Yes,
exactly. is unreal, the wonders that it does create for the body. And it's a magic. And one of the things that I found fascinating with acupuncture, where I initially, in that, okay, how do we transition from construction into this holistic world, given that a psychedelic retreat in this country, was not the option, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
We're going to be there.
Exactly. We're getting closer.
In just a minute, we're going to be there.
And I think Spain really was kind of leading the charge in that with psychedelics and having that. So, so what do we do? And I was like, all right, you need to build content. You're coming from this world and you have all of this knowledge, but you need to build some content, right? Like, why are people going to listen to you? Why are people going to follow you? Why, right? So, and that's where we started with the Reiki, the personal training as a great way to make some side money in between, while going to school or even on the side. So these are the same people that you'll be, doing the acupuncture or doing the psychedelic. So you're gaining your audience, right? And building, a way to make some money and content. So, and looking at it and on this journey, I'm like, the light bulb right? I'm like, it's acupuncture. Because when you think of the chi, right, the magic that happens in our body, because it's magical. You know, it's wondrous, like how the body works. And on the very, very fine tip, like again, so fine of this needle is where it touches the muscle and that magic, the chi. It's right at the tip of that. And to think of that intersection, what brings the life, you know, into our bodies, you know, what makes us wake up in the mornings. And to be able to touch that is such a magical gift that you can, and the ultimate gift that you can give someone. You know, to be a facilitator, practitioner for that. So it was kind of a no-brainer at that point, you know, and understanding the bridge, you know, to the Western world, and because it could feel a little woo-woo, and there's so much propaganda against natural alternative medicines and modalities.
There used to be. I think there's a huge trend now.
Oh, like, absolutely. Big.
Yeah. Shows like this, people like
big.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, y'all need to have your own radio show. I'll set you up. I'll set you up. But you know, for those people listening, I want you to imagine all of us have seen the earth, and there's like a very tall tree or maybe a radio antenna that's like hundreds of feet tall, and it gets hit by lightning. Now, when that lightning hits, it gets grounded. But what you don't see is that there's the yin and the yang, right? So there's different polarities that happen. If the earth is basically an infinite amount of electrons, right? So depending on what needs to be balanced, that's what's going to go through. My first degree was electrical engineering.
Oh, wonderful.
I went to the Air Force Academy and we studied physics. But what was I couldn't get my head around this, but it makes sense when you think about it. But have you ever looked at a hubcap on a car that's going forward, and you look at the spokes, and it looks like the spokes are going backwards?
Yes.
Okay. Or also like a neon light that's got the sequence lights, and the lights look like they're going this way, but then if you look at the dark lights, what's not lit, they're going the opposite way. So you have electricity going one way, but you have not electricity going the other way. So there's flow both ways. In the electrical world, we actually talk about electrons, but also not electrons.
Yes.
Inside the cells, we have charge and we have not charge, right? So we have all of these things that are happening. So, because one would ask, well, if you put a needle into somebody, how does it know what to do? How does it know what direction for the flow to go? Answer that. But we know the answer, but it's going to bring balance.
Each point has its own function, believe it or not, along like let's say the large intestine channel. This point here will break up stagnation, right? This point here will bring energy. And they have different names for each point. They have like the source points, which is the ones that bring energy. They have the chi cleft points, which is the ones that accumulate too much stagnation and blockages, you know, and how they came up with it, that I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Maybe there is, you know, books that talk about that aspect of how they figured that all out. I'm sure through trial and error, but like, what is it that made them, you know,
that's a
this?
universal download.
That
universal
download is what
because back in the ancient times.
Let's use that as a pivot. Let's use that as a pivot because one of the things you said you enjoyed talking about was ancient civilizations. All right, so this show is on. There's no limits on this show. We can talk about anything, right? So, but let me share this with you. You know, I like to learn stuff. And I dive in. I study Tartaria.
Wow, yeah.
Right? So there's people who are like, Tartaria, isn't this little section of what was Russia or something like that? It's like, no, not even close. Tartaria used to be like all of the whole northern hemisphere, pretty much. So, you know, there's these, we fancy ourselves as like being advanced and we're so smart. And we're so stupid.
It's like did you see Idiocracy, the movie?
No, I have not. But I should watch it.
Yeah, we just watched it.
It came out 20 years ago.
Oh, I know it's old. I never watched it.
Yeah, but it's kind of scary at how on point, you know, just as society just dumbing down.
And here's an example, like, you know, these people in Central and South America, you know, they know exactly how to graft different how to preserve food without refrigeration.
Wonderfully.
They know how to ferment foods.
Yeah.
They know how to take the seeds and make sure they're safe and viable for next season. These are things most people, they think that their meat comes from the meat factory, which nowadays it does. But people are so ridiculous. Left on their own accord, they won't even be able to find fresh water.
No.
Like, most people.
Yeah.
So this is really legitimate. I think we're coming to a place now where shows like this, where we're talking about these things, are super, super relevant. Like, look at, if all y'all don't know how to plant something and make a seed grow, there's a 12-year-old on YouTube's going to teach
tell you how to do it.
YouTube University.
YouTube University is going to teach you.
Yeah.
So
It's wonderful.
So talk to me about what's your interest in ancient civilization, and also, are there other civilizations that you think we should know about outside of this Earth area?
Yeah, see, I get these surges when we start talking about that. I get like
Just
full
go
body
for it.
surges.
You're safe here.
Like, no, it's like these confirmations of like the what we're touching. Yeah, what we're touching on some real stuff here, because there are
Soul Decodes talking about real stuff. That's the name of the show.
I love it.
We're talking. That's the name of your future radio show.
They're real
stuff.
Real stuff.
Real stuff with Pano and Elida. Right?
Yeah, this is actually Pano's realm, really, as far as
yeah,
his,
I mean, I
his
really, really was into learning about the ancient civilizations. I again, and that came across through my initial searching and listening to podcasts and self-help books and all that, and coming across new people with new ideas, and they start with the civilizations such, like you said, as Tartaria, as the Atlantean, and the pre-Diluvian flood, all that. That's all. I wish I could live in that time.
Well, maybe we can.
Maybe we can.
And maybe we have already.
Maybe we have. Maybe we can.
Yes.
But let me ask you: if you ever watched this show, it's now. It used to be censored, but now it's really pretty much out there. It's even on YouTube. It's called My Lunch Break.
Oh,
My Lunch Break.
Okay.
So I'll put a link in the show notes
Yeah.
to My Lunch Break. But this guy does an amazing job deep diving and saying, okay, listen, you're telling me that 300 years ago, this massive, or 200 years ago or whatever, this massive, all these world fairs all over the place.
Oh yeah,
all over
too.
There's all these world fairs, and they were built with horse and buggies and no power tools.
right.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Help me
Ancient
believe that.
Egyptian culture. We just went to
Yeah.
Egypt, and this was a long time, dream of mine to be there, and it is just jaw dropping when you are standing there and looking at what was done, when it was done, and for me, it's the precision.
So
just mind blowing.
So how do you think that happened?
Yeah.
No, come on.
No,
Don't be shy.
Oh no,
I'm not.
100%. alien technology.
Alien
an
tech,
influence.
I also feel humans were a lot more advanced because of maybe, I don't know, possible relationships with the aliens and how they interacted and
it's
the things
it's in the hieroglyphics. Like you actually see the influence. Orbs. You'll see even electricity. A bulb in there. So it's all etched. Looking at the obelisks that were, come on. Something is hand done.
Well,
it's
even
never going to be precise.
copper chisels.
Well, we even know that the pyramids have a resonant frequency within them.
Oh yeah.
They weren't burial chambers.
No,
people.
no, not at all.
They were like
And
seriously energy.
it wasn't the focal point. Wasn't the
No, it
pyramids?
wasn't.
It's the Sphinx.
Yeah.
And that the Sphinx, for me, my takeaway, which kind of blew my mind, twice it was almost buried under the sand, up to the nose, like just a portion. It almost like a big rock coming out. And story goes, a man just needed to find some shade, wandering in the desert, leaned up against, the head of the Sphinx. It was just the top of the head. You couldn't see anything. And it came to him in a dream saying, dig me out and you will have all the lands, the riches, you will be powerful. And he did. And he was. And it's happened twice in history where this, almost disappeared. Could you imagine?
So I'm going to go a little bit further because first of all, I don't trust any part of history.
Yeah,
Right.
whoever wrote it, right? Whoever wrote the story.
But what is your fascination with history? because I have a fascination with history, but mine is based on anger. Like I'm pissed off that everything's been changed. Like you can even go back. You can even go back to the encyclopedias from 70 years ago. They're not only destroying the modern history, but they're changing the history.
Rewrite it,
So I get angry. I'm like a big truther.
This is why I love shows like Curse of Oak Island, when they're rewriting the history of who was here when. You got to give me some. You got to give me some things to watch.
Curse of Oak Island. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's one of these shows that they're looking for treasure. But they're finding all these elements. It might be a nail, it might be an ox shoe, and it's like, okay, yes, another nail, another ox shoe. But it tells of another century, another culture that passed through there. Going medieval times, and so way past what their history books have ever said, and who discovered.
America was discovered in 1492.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So let's.
So stuff like that, I agree with you, and I find it fascinating to really start hunting for the truth and how we find it. And now with the technology that we have with LiDAR, being really able to penetrate, and these drones that we can actually get some real readings of the topography and anomalies, and what's really underneath our feet.
It's interesting because the guy that lives right behind me there, like about 5,000 feet that way. He owns a drone company, and my second son is a drone analyst for Texas. He actually takes the drone data, and they can see into the earth.
Yes.
And he analyzes it because they have to know where the roads are going to be built and all that stuff. So.
And then you can see these anomalies, like what's really there, and like where. So with these technologies now that what we have, we can really start, retelling the true story.
And it's exciting, and my hope is that I hope we can get to the place where, because I just turned 63, right? So I'm like,
oh, God bless you. You're like amazing.
I'm like, I got to be around a lot longer.
Yes.
Because I want to see. I'm excited. Like,
what's more? Yes.
I want to hit 100 years old full stride.
Yeah. Yeah. But good, feeling good.
Yeah, just like
feeling strong, being vital. So you have an official invitation to Belicia.
Okay, we're gonna do
so
that's on board. That's on board. I put it on the notice, and we're gonna talk about Belicia. So let me ask you. Just you mentioned Tartaria. What's your interest in these other civilizations?
Yes. So what is it? Just like you said, you got angry about it. This is what, like, when I learned about these things, and I really felt a real resonance with it. I didn't think that it was fake learning about these things. If anything, I thought, this is wonderful. Why aren't we doing it today? Why is it? That's what got me more. And that, like, how can we make this happen? How can we, like, erase the current textbooks and bring this information so that this new world of all these new possibilities and technologies and things that were available back thousands of years ago.
How do we go from that to this?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, as you and I all know, as we know, it's censorship.
Yeah, of course.
Because the powers. So you don't know this about me, but I've got this. One of my entities is called 17 Wolves.
Ooh.
17 Wolves.
17 Wolves.
Okay.
And I'm building this out because 17 Wolves is it's the answer to all of the world's censorship. So what's happening is I'm building a team of wolves. And have you ever seen the wolves in Yellowstone Park, that video? The Yellowstone Park was way out of balance. It was way out of balance. The whole ecosystem was jacked up. And what happened was they introduced wolves, just a handful of wolves, into the ecosystem. And in a few years, they normalized the alpha predators, the wolves, normalized the whole ecosystem. They brought balance to the ecosystem.
Wow.
That was the concept of 17 wolves. Well, we have some emerging technologies now called Web3 technologies. These have the potential of enslaving every single one of us, knowing exactly what you're doing, where you're looking. Are your hands on the wheels when you're driving?
Yeah, you're chipped with the watch.
Yeah. They have the potential of doing that. Or you can bring in 17 wolves and my technical people, and we can say, okay, look, the same technologies you're using to enslave people, we can use to free them.
Yes.
And so what happens is I have a bunch of, I have so many projects that are going to be built on that. One of those projects everything is based on free speech. Like, I don't care what you say or you say, you're allowed to say it. Even if I hate what you say, you're allowed to say it. Right? I have no right to stop you from saying what you're about to say. Right? And so now if nobody listens to you, if you put out a broadcast and nobody, that's on you.
Right.
But you still have a right to say it.
Sure.
But I think what my Web3 radio network is going to be is I'm going to have a bunch of podcasters that put their stuff there, and it's censorship proof. And it's basically it's impossible to stop.
Nice.
And the technologies are not here yet. They're just coming out. But the Web3 technology is going to be based on distributed ledgers.
Okay.
So there's no centralized authority that can chop it.
Right.
Because if they chop this, there's another one there. There's another one there. And so we take, just like, remember Napster or the Pirate Bay?
Yeah.
Those technologies were great, but they didn't police themselves. And so in doing so, they got in trouble. So we have a system in place with 17 Wolves where one of our wolf packs is actually, their entire job is to make sure we're doing things honorably and ethically. So we have a specific wolf pack called Aegis, AEGIS, and everything we do is self-policing, self-governing. They resolve conflicts. So if somebody says, well, that's a trademark thing, we're going to resolve that conflict. So everything is self-policing. We don't need a government. We don't need anybody to interfere on our behalf. We've got this. So that's kind of where we're going with the 17 Wolves. Wonderful. It's super exciting. But let's go back to, so what are the takeaways? Like, let's just pretend that we meet these, maybe we can discover these things from either technologies or people. Like right now they fired up CERN again. They gave it the maximum, they gave it the maximum dosage, maximum energy at CERN just this past week, like 5 days ago.
What is
I wonder if that's messing with the Schumann resonance in the Earth as well too. Because that's been kind of going flip flop there, like the frequency of the Earth. They call that the Schumann resonance.
Yeah, of course.
So that has been, if you watch some of these charts lately, that's been going crazy. Like there's been a lot of energy influxed into the system. And they say it could be also from solar waves and whatnot, but some people are mentioning it's possible it's a CERN thing.
It could be CERN. Also, there's some discussion about a polar shift. There's a possibility of a polar shift, which I don't really believe that there's a pole as they say it.
Right.
I'm not one of those believers that there's a North Pole. That's an axis on which the Earth is spinning. I don't believe that. So,
well, if you look at last January, we started with a planetary alignment.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful.
You know, this year we have the moon had entered its a new orbit in January. It's the year of the fire horse, right? So it was year 9 last year. This is universal year 1 this year. So there's a lot of universal. Big universal shifts happening.
You know a lot about these calendars and stuff.
It's something that has just come to my attention. A lot of these things because and me physically in this space that I've been in and kind of learning my sensitivity, to these things now. True. Yeah, like it's been heightened in this past time. Like, and I don't know if you can see the goosebumps that happen. So whenever there's like some kind of like major truth, like what we're just talking about, instantly whoosh, head to toe.
I love it.
It's like our higher selves,
and it's wonderful
just
because
confirming.
She's been gaining a lot of these sorts of surges that happen, and it's like I feel like universal confirmation of things.
Totally.
And
you know what? Have you noticed the synchronicities lately?
Oh, off the charts.
Like they're off the chart.
Yes, but
right?
See, this is the year of the fire horse with that.
So for those of you who don't know what synchronicities are, you might like this. I'll give you an example that happened to me. A girlfriend of mine was selling her house. She wanted me to rescue her plants. She had some special plants, so I took them on the farm. She said, well, I'll have my guy, her farmhand, bring them over.
Yes.
All right. So I was expecting, okay, tomorrow the guy's going to bring her plants over and put them in the ground. the same day, I told Robin, I said, up on the fence there, the front of our fence, it would be really cool if we had some fruit trees up there, specifically ones that grow in Florida. And I'm thinking about like these, what are those little ones? The
tangerines?
Yeah, they're really small. Like they're
super small ones.
I can't remember the name of them. So, but I said, I really, really would like to have some of these specific fruit trees. And it was the first time I had ever really talked to Robin about it. I just expressed that it would be really cool to have some of those.
Vocalize it out.
So I said, maybe we'll have maybe a dozen of them up there. And so I just said that, and not to anybody else except for Robin over the morning coffee, right? The next day, this guy comes by, and he's putting in her plants, and he looks at me and says, are you interested in having some plants? I've got some extra plants from a different project in my car. And I said, sure, what do you have? He says, well, I have bananas, and I have these other plants.
And they were right there, like delivered to you.
They were delivered to me.
Yeah, like, here you go.
I'm like,
yeah.
Wow. How does that even happen?
Amazon couldn't even act that quick. That says something for that universe.
And I swear I'm gonna remember. But I'm gonna remember the name of it before we're done. But those types of things happen all the time. Yeah. And even like having y'all come into my world, I pretty much command the universe.
Absolutely.
To say, send me those people. I need to connect, especially the industrial hemp. So we're going to talk about that pretty soon.
Yes.
But let me do this. We've talked about your stuff a little bit.
Sure.
Let's double back to what is Environmental Technology Agency? What is that? What do you plan? You've been doing that for a while.
So
I think it said like a year and a quarter now. Or
something. It actually started before that. Yeah. It probably started around 10, 11 years ago now, 12 years ago. So I went through a change where my life kind of booted me out. I realized my job, it was all kind of internal conflict because having a Latin woman at the seat, at the table was very uncomfortable for the rest of the men there. And it was just
too much spirit.
A little too much, yeah. And so, despite all of that, the kind of business I was bringing in, that I was brought on to do, there was all this internal sabotage, and it was the third company in a row to do this. And so I was like, you know what? I need a change. At that point, I was in a marriage that was failing, and I realized this is not my life. My life is short. Like I need to do over. So, in the same month, that summer, I quit my job and my husband, and I really just kind of ripped off all of the titles that bind you to an existence, and then I just traveled for about a year and a half. Because,
beautiful.
Yeah,
it's cool you were able to do that.
Yeah, it was. I was very fortunate. Fortunate, unfortunate. I don't have children, so it's not something that was planned that way, but it's what I had to work with. So yeah, I was able to just I need to a redo button, and I did. I hit a reset button. Needed to get back in touch with my senses because I didn't trust myself.
That's one of my main messages.
Yeah,
is you have to learn to trust yourself.
Right.
And if you don't trust yourself, have some conversations
on how to
reach
restore.
backwards.
Yes.
Find your old self and say, okay, why are we not trusting each other? We need to have this conversation with your old self.
Yeah. And then what is that rebirth of the present self?
Every day is a rebirth of present.
Yes. Yeah. And so that journey was quite remarkable because I was just hurt by people. I had given so many people around me everything. Aww. And I was really hurt, because I
That's not going to happen here. Just
love,
so you know.
Yeah.
You're safe here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it was so, and I love people, and this is one of my things is
people are cool.
People are great, yeah.
They just don't know who they are.
Yeah, and
like if they understood how even the jerkiest jerk.
Yeah, has something.
There's a reason he's a jerk.
Yeah, to push something somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I realized, and sometimes it's not even the people. It's just you're in the wrong place. It's just like why, some marriages don't work. It's not like the individual. This is a bad person. She's bad. He's bad. No, you're both great people, just not great together, right?
And it was a season, maybe. Right?
I mean, it was right, exactly. And now you move on, and we just kind of go past the expiration date because we want to force fit something because it's scary to change, right? So I am, nomad all my life. So change and transition for me is nothing new. So that doesn't scare me. What scares me is not reaching my potential, is not being connected to my smile and my joy. Those are terrifying thoughts for me, So yeah, I'll jump into the deep.
I don't want you to be terrified, so let's accomplish those goals.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go out there. Yeah. So I kind of like, it's like standing at the, I remember there was a time, I'm an adrenaline junkie at heart, and I'm standing at the edge of this adrenaline junkie.
Adrenaline, okay.
And I'm standing at the edge of a cliff, and I saw one person do it. I just need to see one person survive, so I just know where to hurl my body at, right, in the direction. And so I'm standing there, and my heart feels like it's going to rip out of my chest. So it's like, I just got to jump or I'm going to have a heart attack. And I remember telling that story a couple of times, and then somebody said, well, why don't you just step back from the ledge? And that would never occur to me. It was like, no. It's like, if I have this fear, it means that there's something there for me. I have to find out what this fear is, what's the root of it, and get past it. So the thought never occurred to me, and would never occur to me to just step back off of it, because I'll always think, but what happens? How much fun is that going to be when I actually land?
It's interesting you talk about fear. Robin, when we met, we've been married 30 years. And she's
Congratulations.
like,
That's beautiful.
She's like, you're not afraid of anything. I'm like, well, I respect certain things. Like when we moved here, there's all these different snakes, different types of snakes here. I respect them.
Right.
I don't
want to be near that.
I'm not going to snuggle up next to one.
Yeah, that's right.
But I respect them. I'm not afraid of them. I understand that they have their agenda. They have their territory. That so it's not a fear. Same thing with. I get what you're saying about the bungee jumping or because I jumped out of airplanes.
Yes.
And the very first airplane jump. The first airplane jump, it was free fall, so I didn't have anybody helping me. If I didn't pull my cord, I'm
that's
done.
it.
Oh, nice.
It's all, there's no fail safe.
Yeah, exactly.
You jump,
it's you
you
or
pull. If you don't pull,
that's
it.
That's it.
So, but the first jump was not that bad. It was the second jump because you're like,
I'm going to do it again. I already survived once.
But the second jump was like that first experience was like, wow, that was. Really, it was the experience that was very scary. So the second jump was like, I got to do this again. So it was the similar thing to what you were just saying.
Yeah.
To me, it was the second jump that was like, whoa, that was freaking.
What? Now I'm going to do this again. Yeah. It's like, did I just get lucky that first time?
Yeah. Well, to me, it wasn't a matter of life or death. Because to me, this sounds crazy, but when I'm done here, I'm done here.
No, it doesn't sound crazy. Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Really,
and it's, I realize, people say, oh, you're fearless. And I really, no, I do feel the fear. And I've felt I literally looked down on my chest because I thought I could see the heart, like in a cartoon where the heart's like, dunk, 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 coming out of the
Bugs Bunny.
Literally. And I looked down because that's how hard it was pounding in my chest. And so it's not that I don't feel the fear. I feel it. But then I just get really curious, and I want to dive into that. And then it kind of spins into this need to conquer it. So, in that search for myself, it was the fear of looking in the mirror and having to force a smile. And that's when I realized. So I have 2 divorces, right? And both times I I understood it when I looked in the mirror and I said, smile, because I smile. He knows I'm a smiler.
You're very smiler, yeah.
And when I had to force it, smile, and it wasn't mine. It was the mechanics of moving my cheeks up towards my ears. And I was like, no, that's it. I'm out. The second, and I had made my promise that that's the second time. So I put myself on a merry-go-round. So it wasn't my ex-husbands, it wasn't the jobs, it wasn't the family, it was me. So it was this kind of accountability where I wanted and realized the merry-go-rounds. And people say, why do things happen to me in the universe? Why does this happen to me, all the time? It's not happening to you. We're creating those scenarios because we're just reliving the same choices.
Yeah, you're calling it to yourself.
Yes.
So dovetail this back in because I really am curious about your environmental technology. What is that about, and how does that play a role in where you are now?
So in these travels that I was in, I started meeting some really amazing people with some amazing innovations. And all of this came so organically. And I've always dealt in my career with engineers, of mechanical, electrical engineers. I love the mindset of them, the looking at something and taking it apart and building something else with it. So, and I can translate engineer speak, into layman's terms. So I have a very good understanding and rapport with engineers. And so I gravitate towards them. They gravitate towards me. So it's this universal pull. So I started just collecting just amazing innovations that should be out in the world that this planet desperately needs.
So tell me a few of them, because you mentioned industrial hemp. Guaranteed that's way overdue. Tell me some more.
Molecular hydrogen.
Excellent.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
And the universal uses for it when it comes to our physical being, for the planet, propelling planes, trains, and automobiles, name it, right? How the uses behind it, incredible.
Love it.
All different types of renewable energies, where beyond just the building materials. So Farrock, this is an element where we can take, instead of using cement, which is such a huge problem
it's
for us.
It's such a problem.
The CO2 emission alone.
Yeah, it's such a mess.
This is actually carbon zero, like it's net zero.
Yeah.
So we can actually build with using a cement-like substance that could be mixed with salt water. So you're not even using fresh water.
We're going to talk after this show. You and I are going to talk about this because I'm visualizing, because I drive by these. I've got a girlfriend that she does construction. All of her licenses for construction, they do the big earth movers and all this stuff.
Yes.
And these huge cranes that have these cement pouring things.
Yes.
And I think to myself, every time I see that cement pouring, I'm like, why isn't that pouring like a hempcrete, a slurry, something like you're talking about, where, and then I see these things that have like these 3D printers.
Yeah, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You can synthesize, use a slurry of whatever natural compounds and 3D print stuff.
See, and that's the thing with, absolutely. Hemp with hempcrete, there's still, with the mixture and really being able to 3D print it, there's still, it's close,
there's compressibility.
There's still some, it's a hair, apart from being able to be utilized in that capacity, but it's coming, but there's so many other ways, to use this amazing material. Yep. So, and again,
well, that's so cool. I want to learn so much more. So what you're doing is you're aggregating all these technologies.
Yes. So I just have, these beautiful hearts and, seeing the struggles. And I don't know, I guess it was, around that time when I was splitting off, and I saw a documentary on Nikola Tesla. And it just ripped at my heart.
369.
369. And I was like, I did not expect this. And I did not expect that, to be it, I'm like, so I knew. And then all of a sudden, and then all these innovations coming, and people and places that needed this, and then meeting the person that has, a solution, and
he's
being that facilitator.
He's from just north of Greece, just so you know.
Yeah. So all these things. So I started Choice Solutions International first, and that was aimed for countries to really tailor certain solutions, because countries like El Salvador burning their garbage because they don't have anything to do with it, so they burn it. Yet it kills me, right? And then you have all these waste to energy, opportunities. There are desalinization technologies, but it's also scattered globally.
Agreed.
Right. So as an industry, as a building industry, there isn't a universal place where we can show developers how to build and what to do.
I like it.
So Choice Solutions.
We're going to solve that. We're going to solve that.
Completely. Oh, it's yeah. This is. Now the rebirth of Choice Solutions is environmental technology. Okay. Because earlier, so about 2-3 years ago, again, it really hit me that this is what I'm meant to do here. I am a steward for this planet, and I got that message loud and clear, and it was okay. And from there, literally the name environmental ETA, if you think of what our ETA is, if we keep on this same track, if we don't make changes, this planet will reset. And if we think we're going to outsmart the universe and Mother Nature this time,
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I don't care how much money you have in the bank. I don't care how many planes you own, right? You're not going to fly out of this, right? This is why, trying to colonize another planet, like, living in a bubble why? We have a beautiful planet now.
Let's take care of this place.
We can do it. We have the resources. So if you think of where we would be if Nikola Tesla was supported back in the 1800s.
Rather than
Edison.
Exactly.
And take it, and so I knew I need to help these innovators. So in my journey of being a steward of the planet, I've met my partner now, Jamie Perkins, who is the founder and visionary of Belicia.
Right. So, tell us about Belicia.
Yes.
Because I looked it up before you came, and it's pretty fascinating. He is a developer, and he's done special economic zones, and his last one was Prospera in Honduras. It's a huge success, on paper, but not for the core reasons of why it was started, to help the locals. So as a business opportunity, it is a great success, for investments of that sort, but again, for what he wanted to do. And said he wasn't going to get involved with another one unless it was a unicorn opportunity, quote unquote, where he had an opportunity to go and get the blessings from a government to do it his way, not working for another government, but as a contractor and building this for the people, for the locals, for the planet, and to do it truly sustainable, and not just cutting corners, purpose before profit. That's our motto, right? It is about the land, and it is about the people. So when we're done with today, you and I are going to talk about Earth Angel Prime.
Ooh.
Earth Angel Prime.
Oh, I like the way that sounds already. I like the 17 wolves. I like
Earth Angel Prime. So, spoiler alert, it's basically an ecosystem, a village that I'm paying for the first one.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So I'm funding the first one. But once people see what that does, Earth Angel Media is going to broadcast it all over the earth using Web3 technology.
Nice. So it can't be
and all of everything we do and how we do it's going to be broadcast. And people who if somebody wants one of these in Topeka, Kansas, we're going to go there. I'm going to deploy some of my people there. They're going to be met by their people. We're going to set up one there.
Oh, wonderful.
If they want one in Banff, in
we have
Mexico City,
yes.
we're going to have them all over, and then we're going to connect them all.
Fantastic.
So,
this is right along the same heart and vein.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what we're doing is really showing developers, for projects like this, how to do it, where to get these resources. So it started out as an eco luxury resort community, right? But it's grown way past that. Way past that.
This is a completely, maybe this will be another show.
Yeah,
we talk about this because I'm even to the point now where I've got a lot of those resources lined up.
We have a lot of
that. You're going to be such synergy. I knew this before I came in today. I'm telling you,
but even the governance.
Yes.
Like I'm really big on distributed governance. There's a thing. Have you ever heard of DAO? DAO. DAO. So instead of having like an HOA that's
a DAO
is a distributed autonomous organization that says, here's the sandbox. These are the basic rules. This is how this organization functions. And it's all done on layered smart contracts.
We're actually working on a special designation for this project within Belize. And what you're saying on governance, you're gonna love.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. That sounds like another show. Well, this is a first time of us meeting, and I'm so grateful to both of you for coming to Phillips Island and
oh my God,
being at Treehouse Studio.
Yes.
But before we go, like, what if our listeners could take away one thing from you, or two or three things, just basic stuff? What can our listeners do? What should they take away, and how can they help you to your next level?
Honestly, I think being open, because there's so much propaganda when it comes to the holistic healthcare, when it comes to sustainability. When you hear the opportunities, because even for builders, they'll believe that it's just too expensive and it's not practical. you know, and it's not going to be able to meet the demands of progress. It's really all a lie.
It really is.
It's just a straight out lie.
Yeah.
You know, so, and when it comes to holistic medicines and to really, because again, there's a huge, the younger generations are more open because they're kind of growing up with it now. You know, I didn't have that privilege, you know, at 52 years old, it's just not, you know, something that, and my parents and grandparents were, so it's to those generations, like I would really love for them to really open up their minds and just give it a chance. Just listen. With a different set of ears, taking off the filters, you know.
Taking off the ego.
The ego, right. The fear.
Shed
you know,
the fear,
of the
shed
unknown.
the ego.
Right, exactly.
We're all on the same team.
Yes.
We're all here
Yes,
together.
yes.
None of us are leaving here alive.
Yeah.
So right?
Exactly.
So
we all have that in common.
just
That's
figure
our
this out.
brother and sisterhood.
But I'm so glad you came, and you came as this guy's bodyguard
Yes.
slash eye candy.
Yeah.
Right? But Pano, go ahead and what would you have us take away, and like how can people find out about both of you for your work, and how can we support you?
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I'm just, what I would want is, would love for the listeners to maybe gain some insight in certain things like new technologies and new, don't be fearful of what society says you can't do, especially like even I'm 40, I just turned 46, you know, and I'm basically restarting and restructuring my life now from where it was, you know, so don't fear that. If you have ideas, however old you are, it's never too late. Perfectly said. Thank you. That's what it
That's
is.
so beautiful, because like when I'm coaching my people, that's what I ask them. It's like, you're so sad, you're so depressed, it's palpable. Like, what would bring you joy? Like, if I were your fairy godmother and I said, here's a blank piece of paper, write down what you want, and I'm going to make that happen with you.
Yes.
What would you write? And they would say, I've always wanted to be a musician or dance or travel or whatever their thing is.
There is a something.
There is that
there
something.
Is
It's like,
yes.
I love what you said. Be willing to change things.
Yeah.
Like, all of us have been previously married, right?
Yes.
Even Robin, previously married. She was married to an alcoholic. It was not a good look.
Yeah.
So it's not that those people were in our lives for a reason.
Yeah.
I grew.
Oh yeah.
The reason
Tremendously.
that Robin and I have been together, we're in our 31st year, is because we learned from the previous relationship what we want and what we don't want.
Yeah.
We changed in the process, so that's super cool. So I'm going to put in the show notes, whatever. I know you sent me some information about your stuff, but whatever you want me to put in terms of contact information,
Oh,
if somebody
wonderful.
wants to get
Thank
a hold
you.
of you.
Absolutely.
Thank
yeah.
you.
If you don't want to publish that, they can get a hold of me and I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, no.
So whatever you want to do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, thank you
And-
for having us
Oh,
and
you're
inviting us
welcome.
here
Julie,
today.
What a pleasure.
Yeah, this has
Yeah.
been great. What a gas. We should do it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be such a treat.
And just for all of you who don't know this, Pano's never been in front of a mic like this
Yeah,
before.
he did. I'm
And
so
he did
proud
a-
of him. He did so
he
good.
did a great job.
Yes, so natural.
No, I did. I love his laugh. It's like, oh my God.
Awesome, yes.
I think I'm going to like clip his laugh.
Yeah, and do like a track.
And that's like that's going to be like
You
the
have
intro.
full
Yes.
go for it. Yes.
That's like that's going to be the intro.
Yes.
So listen, as we wrap up, I want to thank everyone for listening to Soul Decodes. My apologies for being absent for the past few months. We got some really cool things that are roll out. Share this with other people. Share these stories are great. I promised you that I would tell you how to get a hold of the free book that I published.
Oh.
So I want you all to go to. I'll put this in the show notes. I want you to go to Sensia Beauty. CENCIA beauty.com. I want to double back to one thing you said before the show. You talked about toxins going into people. That was actually the reason I wrote this beauty compendium, because I read some studies that showed that nursing mothers were breastfeeding chemicals to their babies.
Yeah.
And I was disgusted because
Yeah.
I knew that the things were
the
showing up in the
lips,
umbilical
yeah,
cords,
yeah.
like 200 toxins in
Yeah.
the umbilical
And the
cords.
plastics.
It's disgusting.
Yes.
So even the microplastics.
Yes.
You think you're putting something on your skin that's making it smooth, but it's actually disrupting your hormones. It's actually accreting in your joints, in your organs. It's killing you. So I put together what's called Essentia Beauty Professional Compendium.
Oh.
So if you go to the website and sign up for the newsletter, you'll get a link that you can download it for free. So anybody listening to this, I'll put a link in the newsletter. Go get it, share it. If you know somebody that's a dermatologist, spa beauty worker, really anywhere in the world, this is game changing, because when you understand that what you're putting in your skin is actually going into your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your brain, it's going everywhere, and including your baby, right?
Yeah.
It's going into your ovaries, it's going into your sperm, it's going everywhere. So you have to understand that whatever you put on your skin is probably going in your body.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I've also got an audio program. I started another podcast it's called Health Freedom Radio. So I'll put that in the link as well, so people can listen to that. But as always, I'm grateful to all y'all for coming by. We're going to do this again.
I would love it. Yes.
Cool.
Thank
Blessings
you.
to all y'all. Thanks for coming to Phillips Island today.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Soul Decodes is a featured presentation on the Earth Angel Media Network. This episode of Soul Decodes is sponsored and produced by Live Pure. Optimize your life by taking your health to the next level. Listen now to learn how Live Pure will make your world better.
Live Pure is an American-based distribution system of online portals that give discounted access to clean, potent, natural, and ethically sourced healthy solutions for fat loss, muscle gain, clean skin care, immune system support, whole body cleanse, physiological balance, and performance support for athletes of all ages. Live Pure handpicks the best products and nutrients from world-class companies, always adding to their quickly growing wellness lineup that now includes Korean skincare, no injection weight loss alternatives, medical-grade nutraceuticals listed in the physician's desk reference, and healthy coffee that rivals the world's best, but for only about $1 per cup. Soul Decodes listeners looking for youth, beauty, and better health can get wholesale pricing by visiting livepure.com/gateway and signing up for free as a preferred customer. Content creators, influencers, and virtual entrepreneurs looking for passive cash flows from emerging markets can profit from Live Pure's state-of-the-industry affiliate program, which provides up to 7 different payment vectors. Content creators aligned with Live Pure and Earth Angel Media will enjoy massive co-marketing benefits, including a personally branded website. Sign up as an affiliate brand partner at livepure.biz/gateway. Or drop us a note at earthangelproject.com. Check out the show notes for more details.